Welcome back. In the last lecture, we have seen representative democracy, and in representative democracy, there was one point which suggested that representative democracy is based on elite theory of power or democracy, pluralist theory of power or democracy. How? Because as Burke said, parliamentarians do not follow will of its constituents, but will of nation, will of parliament. Right? So the decision has to go beyond parliament. Decision has to be go beyond constituency, and decision has to taken on national level. So elite decision making has to be there. Right? Parliamentarians are elite themselves. So and there is distinct lack of trust. There is distinct distrust towards capability of masses in representative democracy. This distrust, this distrust was this distrust in masses and trust in capability of elite is another assumption of representative democracy. To continue that strand, we have to also understand, to understand representative democracy in toto. We also have to understand elitist theory of power or democracy. What is elitist theory of power of democracy? If I have to say in one line, right, Rocky Bhai, KGF, that power people don't come from powerful places. Powerful play people make powerful places, right? So what point I want to signify or point out here, that elite have number one, power, right? They have social influence. Elite have power, they have social influence, they have political influence, and they have economic influence. Basically, elites are in decision making positions, right? So, what are elites? People who have influence, people who are in decision making positions, right? So, understanding elite becomes very important. We have understood elite as people who are powerful, wealthy, and in decision making positions. To explain elite theory of power, right? We have understood elite, but to understand elite theory of power, I have to explain that how philosophers have thought about society, right? Right? Categorization of society, right? First, we'll start with Plato. Plato, remember his idea or theory of myth of metals. Myth of metals. In myth of metals, he says that with respect to the content of your soul, you can be gold, silver, copper, right? With respect to the proportion of reason, courage, appetite in your soul, which is natural, you can be belong to gold class or silver class or copper class. So gold class are elite people, silver class are elite people, copper class are workers, right? Copper class are masses, gold are elite, silver are elite, copper class are masses. This was explained by Plato, right? Categorization of society into elites and masses. Then we have seen Aristotle and his theory of citizenship. Aristotle, his theory of citizenship, whereby he suggests by not Greek property owning male are only citizens, right? So Greek property owning male are only citizens. They are only free. So what Aristotle want to say? What Aristotle want to say, that Elite in Greek societies are property owning males, no one else. Right? Again, elites and masses. For Aristotle, elites or people in decision making positions are property owning males. Then, then there is Machiavelli. Machiavelli, Machiavelli suggests that suggests that there are two kinds of people in politics: foxes and lions. Foxes and lions are elite, rest are not. And he gives advice to Prince that one should be clever like fox and brave like lion. Then there is Alfredo, right? We'll start with the more nuanced arguments with respect to Alice theory of power, and we'll start with we have done the scholars we have already studied, right? Plato, Aristotle, Machiavelli, their distinction of societies we have seen, right? Marx we can also write here, right? Marx we can also write here. The one class which controls economic days is can be categorized as elite, right? So Marx can be also included here. Uh, who else can be included here with respect to elitism? Locke can be included, right? Property rights, right? A lot of people can be included. So, but for preliminary understanding, mention Plato's myth of metals, mention Aristotle's qualified democracy or theory of citizenship, mention Machiavelli. But more nuanced understanding of elitism or elite power was given by this Italian scholar Vilfredo Pareto. Pareto, right? This is he's a sociologist, right? He's a sociologist, he's a scholar, he's a mathematician. Sociologist and discipline of sociology goes into detail of his theory of circulation of elites, but we also have to see because it is related to power. So who was Pareto? He was Italian scholar and a mathematician, and he suggests and he gives concept of circulation of elite. Circulation of elites, right? Circulation of elites meaning what? One one keyword is missing here. Circulation of circulation of power, power among elites, right? The concept is not circulation of elites. You have to write when you are going to write it is circulation of elites, but it is actually circulation of power among elites, right? Circulation of power among elites, right? If there is circulation of power among elites, there has to be different types of elites, right? So first he categorizes society into two types. He categorizes society into elites and masses, right? Now, masses are naturally naturally unwilling to get power. Masses do just want their appetite to be fulfilled. Masses just want their roti kapda makan, right? Masses just want food on their plate, a, a roof on their head, and some water to drink, right? That is all masses want. Now, the real play of power is among elites, right? First categorization that Pareto does is with respect to elites and masses. The second categorization among elites who are power hungry, elites who are power hungry is of two types. There are two types of elites. Two types. First types of elites are foxes. The second type of elites are lions. Foxes and lions. Remember Machiavelli. What is the the quality of foxes? That they are clever. clever like fox. They are mentally strong. They can trap other people, right? They can trap other people. They can set up traps. They can backstab, right? All those things. Then the second type of elite are lions. Lions are, according to Machiavelli, are they are brave. Why they are brave? Because they are physically strong. They are physically strong, right? And there is symbiotic or symbiotic relationship between them, right? There is a relationship which I can categorize in terms of environment as amenalism, right? Amenalism. That there is love-hate relationship between them. The relationship is not direct, right? Relationship is not direct. Foxes need lions, and lions need foxes as well for rule, right? For rule, both are needed. Both are needed. One cannot rule without other. Lions are needed and foxes are also needed, right? They need each other, right? They are needed, that is a different part, but they need each other. Foxes are needed by lions, and lions are needed by foxes. So I will give you example from Indian history of Chanakya, who was mentally strong, and he was a fox. But could he have got the power of Magadha, right? Could he have got the power of Magadha without Chandragupta, right? Who was physically strong? No, no, he could not have, because to get to power, yes, you need you need both you need both brawn and brain, right? Power is interplay between brawn and brain. Chanakya, who was mentally strong, needed Chandragupta, who was physically strong. And Chandragupta, to get to power, who was physically strong, also needed Chanakya to get to power. Do you realize what I'm saying? You need both brawn and brain. You need both muscle and mind. You need both to get to power, right? You need both to get to power. Now, now the concept of circulation of elites comes here. We have established what? We have established one thing, that to keep your hold on to power, to keep your hold on to power, you need you need both brawn and brain, and both supplement each other. The second thing we have to establish is that the power is distributed among foxes and lions. There is no trickle down of power. There is no trickle down of power, right? Power will be with foxes and lions. Power will be with mentally strong and physically strong. It will not. It will not go to masses, right? It will not go to masses. So to explain, these are mentally strong. These are physically strong, right? Mentally strong will control physically strong or use physically strong to get to power, right? Now, mentally strong are smart. They understand that physically strong, if used, will need something in return. So physically strong will be given lower powers like MLAs, even MPs, or or sarpanch, right? Mentally strong will use physically strong and will give them some spoils of politics, will give them some uh, what you say, some power, but real power will lie always lie with mentally strong. Prime ministership, home ministership even is always with mentally strong people, right? Do not do not be what you say fooled by the statement they say, right? They can say absolute bullshit of statement at some point of time, but you have to realize they are very smart people, right? To get to ministership you need to have high emotional intelligence, you need to control all the keys to power. So mentally strong will have hold on a big power, but they will also devolve some power to physically strong, right? And power will remain between mentally strong and physically strong, right? That is the idea. This is power of, this is circulation of elite. What it basically wants to say, circulation of power among elites, right? So we have started with elitist theory of power. I hope you understood this. From the next lecture I will do two or three more scholars like Mosca, like Robert Michels and Raymond Aron. For now I'll take your leave. Thank you so much. Bye bye. We just have seen Pareto and his concept of circulation of elites. Right? Mosca talks on similar lines. Right? In his book, The Ruling Class, he gives difference between governed and governing. Right? Governed are masses, governing are elite. Right? Right? Again, within elite, he has done categorization as well, and he has done similar analysis as Pareto. But there is a key difference between Pareto and Mosca. There is a key difference between Pareto and Mosca. For Pareto, elitism is natural. You are naturally elite, right? You are naturally elite. For Mosca, elitism is result of party politics. For Pareto, you have physical strength or mental strength. For Mosca, it is a product of party politics, right? And with respect to party politics, what does he say? He says that to become an elite in democracy, you need to understand party politics. You need to understand politics means you need to have organizational skills. You need to have organizational skills. So how do you become elite in democracy? By having a good grip on party politics and organizational skill. You won't be naturally elite, right? You won't be naturally elite, but 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 organizational skills, your position in party politics will make you elite, right? To give you an example, BJP's BJP's national president, right? Recently he was elected, Nabin Nitin. Nabin Nitin. He is from Bihar, and recently BJP won Bihar elections. Right? BJP won by a big margin. So what and why Nabin Nitin was selected as BJP's national president? Right? Because his organizational skill. The rallies that Nitin organized. Nitin was also Bihar's BJP president. So the rallies that BJP organized, that Nabin organized, the the events that he carried out, The care that he took of senior party leaders came to when they came to Bihar, it was appreciated by BJP. Right, his organizational skills, his connections, and his ability to deal with people was appreciated by BJP. Right, right. How he became elite? Right, he was already elite, but he's not. He's now on next level. So how did he get to that position? Because he had organizational skills. That is the idea. Right, you need to be naturally right. For Pareto, you are naturally elite. For Mosca, you need to have organizational skills. You need to have organizational skills. Right. The next idea, the next idea with respect to elite school of power was given by Robert. Yeah, soon. Will you be able to continue?